obsolete, Mr. Wordsworth.
Lie. No man is obsolete.
It's a cookbook.
Who are we?
When will they take the bandages off?
You're a bad man. You're a very bad man.
This lemon sucker here. He's the most suspicious of the bunch.
My name is Talkie Tina, and I'm beginning to hate you.
I believe you're going my way.
Live from Willoughby at the heart of the Twilight Zone. Here are your hosts, Alex and Tyler, the prestigiously perfect podcast in which we call The Twilight Zone.
What is up, Nomies? I'm Alex.
And I'm obsolete.
You sure are, Ty. I knew you were going to do it, and it still got me.
How'd you know I was going to do it? I didn't even know I was going to do it.
I figured you would. I know you better than you know yourself, Mr. Wordsworth. Episode 98, if it wasn't obviously clear what episode we are doing, and by the thumbnail that you clicked on, what episode we're going to be discussing this week, Ty.
This week we have The Obsolete Man.
Season 2, episode 29. It was the final episode in Season 2. The original air date was June 2nd, 1961. This was written by Rod Serling, if it wasn't abundantly clear by the dialogue between the two gentlemen. And this was directed by Elliot Silverstein, who did 4 Twilight Zones, and this is by far his best one. Are you ready for his 4? We have not done them all yet. He did The Obsolete Man, The Passerby, The Trade-Ins, and Spur of the Moment.
I like The Trade-Ins. That's a fun one, too.
It's okay. It's definitely his second best.
Spur of the Moment, meh. And then
The Passerby,
meh.
We'll jump right into it, Ty. What was your favorite moment from this classic episode?
I loved it when Wordsworth got to throw the Chancellor's words back at him. He's like, when the Chancellor originally said, like, step into the light, Wordsworth gets to throw that line back at him, face the camera.
Depends on the individual.
So many things that the Chancellor says that Wordsworth gets to throw back, and just the whole shoe being on the other foot, just perfect, just comeuppance. Loved it.
I really enjoyed the final shot of the Chancellor being dragged on the table. That was so cool. It just seems so creepy.
I thought it was just a little hammy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. You didn't like that?
I mean, like, they're in a public building, people just start tearing into you. And...
I think it's supposed to be more of like a metaphor of humans being animals. But...
Yeah, I get it.
We have the technology to rebuild him.
Doctor, what have you created?
I am, for all intent and purposes, AI Serling.
So every week I put a prompt into ChatGPT, and sometimes it comes up with good ones, sometimes it comes up with bad ones. I think this one was pretty decent, so are you ready for it?
Yeah, I was wondering about the preamble for it. Now I'm kind of wondering if it's not going to be good.
It's pretty decent.
All right.
Picture, if you will, a future where a man is declared obsolete. Not because he's dangerous, violent, or even particularly annoying at dinner parties, but because his ideas have fallen out of fashion with the people holding the microphones. This is The Obsolete Man, a Twilight Zone episode that asks a terrifying question. What happens when the state decides your usefulness, your faith, and your right to speak, and then posts the verdict for all to see? Watching it today feels a little less like science fiction and a little more like checking the news, scrolling past outrage, counter-outrage, and the growing suggestion that silence might be more responsible than dissent. Submitted for your approval, a cautionary tale from 1961 reminding us that when speech becomes a crime and conformity a virtue, the real obsolete thing might be freedom itself, and that particular rerun never ends well.
I like that. Very good.
Very prominent. I think it's more of a human thing. It's always going to be prominent, but it definitely seems
poignant.
Sure. Thank you, Tyler. Fuck. I'm an idiot. Yes. More poignant today. Which, I guess, like I was saying.
I mean, he obviously wrote this in the 60s for a reason, too. I mean, I think the message is always a pretty poignant one.
Sure is. All right, so every week, Tyler and I come up with a few questions for each other, keep each other on our toes while watching said episode. I found it extremely difficult to find questions for this episode because there's so much raw dialogue being thrown at you. It's hard to pay attention and stop and go, oh yeah, and there's not like any numbers. But I did manage to do 2.
I got 3.
All right, go for it then.
All right, how long has Wordsworth been under investigation?
Shit. 6 months?
1 year, 11 months.
Oh, almost 2 years.
Almost. I don't know why that's the length of time that they have people under investigation for.
How long has Wordsworth lived in the room that he dies in? Spoiler alert.
20 years.
Correct.
How long did it take to set up the cameras?
15 minutes.
Less than 15 minutes.
All right. What other skill does Wordsworth have?
He's a carpenter.
Correct.
He
Do you think they're going for like a Jesus thing with this, since it's very God-heavy and Bible verse and stuff?
Maybe. Yeah, could be. What millimeter is the camera shooting on? You had to look really close to notice this.
16 millimeter?
108 millimeter.
Ah, dang it. All right, well, we'll jump right into the plot of this one. There's a lot of dialogue, so we'll try not to do it verbatim, but a lot of it is important.
Yeah.
So we open up on two men, giggity, one at a very tall podium, one at a long table underneath him, and we hear the words Romney Wordsworth, obsolescence. And even though this is season 2, we are thrust right into a Rod intro, which I think kind of is important for this episode.
Yeah, definitely need the setup.
You walk into this room at your own risk, because it leads to the future. Not a future that will be, but one that might be. This is not a new world. It is simply an extension of what began in the old one. It has patterned itself after every dictator who has ever planted the ripping imprint of a boot on the pages of history since the beginning of time. It has refinements, technological advances, and a more sophisticated approach to the destruction of human freedom. But like every one of the superstates that preceded it, it has one iron rule. Logic is an enemy and truth is a menace. This is Mr. Romney Wordsworth in his last 48 hours on Earth. He's a citizen of the state, but will soon have to be eliminated because he is built out of flesh and because he has a mind. Mr. Romney Wordsworth, who will draw his last breaths in the Twilight Zone.
Very good Rod opening. Pulls you right in.
It does. And I really try not to get political on this podcast because even though The Twilight Zone was obviously a very political show at the time, I think it just makes everyone shittier and stuff. So I'll leave it at that, but it is
poignant.
When we get back from commercial, the Chancellor, who's up at the podium, asks Mr. Wordsworth, "Do you know why you're here?" And Wordsworth says, "Yes, I know why I'm here." The Chancellor says, "You have been found obsolete. The purpose of this is to find out how we should deal with you. So please state your occupation." Wordsworth says, "A librarian." Everybody laughs, which, I mean, we don't know how long this state has really been there, but like, do you think people would fall in line with like, "Oh, books are stupid," that quickly?
I don't think that they're laughing that books are stupid. I think they're laughing at the fact because in a few seconds the Chancellor will say the kind of logic behind it of, well, books are banned, which means that there's no point for libraries, which are housings of books, which means there's obviously no need for librarians who are keepers of the library. So it would follow suit that clearly you can't be a librarian. That's ridiculous. There's no books.
Right. The Chancellor asks the man below, "This guy's been briefed, right?" And he's like, "Step back into the light, Mr. Wordsworth. Do you understand that you've been found obsolete? Now I'll ask you again, what is your occupation?" And he holds his stance. He goes, "I am a librarian." He's like, "I keep telling you people." And he's like, "You mean the state?"
"What is this you people? You define the term." "Ah, you mean the state, I see." Then it's at this point that the Chancellor kind of says what I just kind of summarized there, that there's no more books, so that means that there's no more libraries and therefore no need for a librarian, which kind of begs the question, what does he do for a living? Does he run an underground library?
That, or maybe he does like carpentry on the side, or yeah, we don't know what he's been doing. But also, like, to my question is, how long has this state been here? Because maybe this could be like, maybe he was a librarian a couple months ago and this new ruler came in.
Well, it couldn't have been a couple months ago. He's been under supervision for the past year and 11 months.
Yeah, but tensions could have been high, and maybe this regime just got into power. I don't know. No. There's a lot of questions in this episode of how we get to point A to B, but nevertheless, we find ourselves in this situation. Anyway, the Chancellor is just like you were saying, there's no need for all this stuff. You work with books, which the function is to preach the words of God, and the state has proven there is no God.
Which Just from a scientific standpoint, you can't disprove a positive. Like, you can never, like, disprove Bigfoot doesn't exist. You can only prove that Bigfoot does exist. That's not how proving things works.
Wordsworth's like, a lie. There is a God. The Chancellor disagrees, yells into the microphone that the state has proven there is no God.
You are in error, Mr. Wordsworth. There is no God. The state has proven that there is no God.
You cannot erase God with an edict.
You are obsolete, Mr. Wordsworth.
A lie. No man is obsolete.
You have no function, Mr. Wordsworth. You're an anachronism, like a ghost from another time.
I am nothing more than a reminder to you that you cannot destroy truth by burning pages.
You're a bug, Mr. Wordsworth, a crawling insect. An ugly, misformed little creature who has no purpose here, no meaning.
I am a human being.
You're a librarian, Mr. Wordsworth.
He goes on a long rant of Rod Serling style against librarians here.
But I think in this episode it really works because, one, we have like this librarian who'd obviously be well-versed in being able to speak well and have a great big vocabulary. And then we also have the Chancellor who, again, would probably be well-educated. I think in this scenario it works really well and it does help to drive home the points. Other times,
They're also trying to make an example of this man.
Yeah. Other times, though, I can definitely see where Rod's over-wordiness would, like, not be great for, like, certain dumber characters. It's like, he doesn't know how to write for the everyman, but in this episode, I think the writing is perfect and the dialogue is perfect.
I agree. The man below the podium says, all right, step back, Mr. Wordsworth, so we can announce the verdict. 3 jury members, I would guess would be. They come out and all of them agree, obsolete, obsolete, obsolete. So they tell him to step forward again, and they tell him you have been found obsolete, and then they read him his rights. He has 48 hours, and he gets to pick how he dies. And when the Chancellor goes over a couple examples, and Wordsworth smiles.
He's like, what a rich man I am that I have so many options to pick my own death.
Right? And I'll play you a little bit of what he decides.
I merely said that I was a very rich man. I have such a luxury of choices that I choose the following. To be given an assassin to whom I shall tell the method of my execution.
This is unheard of. Mr. Wordsworth, we don't understand the nature of the request.
Simply that you are to assign me my assassin, but only he and I will know the way that I'm to die.
That will be acceptable, Mr. Wordsworth, provided your liquidation is accomplished within the 48-hour period.
Just one final request. I should like to die with an audience.
Seems like a flaw on the part of the state to allow people to pick their own method of death.
For sure. Someone could definitely... I guess
he kind of does fuck the system. Well, he still dies in the end, but he still kind of definitely gets his point across.
Right. Wordsworth picks midnight tomorrow in his room. The Chancellor agrees and tells him, all right, you can go back to your room. The man at the table says, that was kind of odd one, wasn't it? The Chancellor's like, yes, odd, but everyone will get to see how he dies. Next shot, Wordsworth is in his room. It's a little past 11. The Chancellor knocks on his door, and he's like, all right, thank you for coming.
Do you notice immediately when he closes the door behind him, we can see him lock the door, too?
Mm-hmm.
So the Chancellor comes in and says, you know why I came? And he's basically saying, I came to show you that the state has no fear. We're not afraid of someone like you, to which Burge kind of laughs it off, like, you think that you're trying to prove that you're not afraid of me? Well, you guys are the state. You're the big bad state. Why would you be afraid of little old me?
Right. And then Burge says, I'll tell you the reason that you really came here. I don't fit your formula. The Chancellor says, well, in a few minutes, you'll be squirming, and in a few minutes, we'll find out, as your life is fading away, who's stronger, the state or the librarian? And Wordsworth says, well, look, they brought this camera stuff in here this morning, and then the lights come on, so apparently they're live on the air right now. And Wordsworth's like, hey, we're on camera right now. We're live. The Chancellor puts on his politician face and says, we definitely learned a lot from history, like from Hitler and Stalin, but they didn't go far enough. Old people, cripples.
He says that 1,300 people who were televised, had their deaths televised in the past 6 hours, fairly recently. He's talking about all the different televised death. But yeah, he goes on to talk about Hitler and Stalin, how they didn't go far enough, and all the people that they should have killed, but their states didn't, I guess, do enough in his opinion.
Right? So he's like, we decided to get rid of all the people like you. The Chancellor makes some small talk, ends up telling him, in a few minutes, you'll be in your own nirvana. And he looks at the camera, and he's like, well, you're cheating your audience. They want to see how you die.
So then after this, he kind of walks by and he sees some of the handmade stuff that Wordsworth has made. And he said, the fact that you're a carpenter is the only thing that kind of helped you get by so long. We at the state kind of see having a skill as kind of being one of your only kind of redeeming factors about you. And then soon after this is we get the line where the Chancellor says, come on now, look at the camera. You're cheating your audience. They want to be able to see you when you die.
He's like, if you feel like crying, cry. Plea if you want, because the Chancellor obviously wants him to do that. And Burge's like, oh, you'd love to see that, wouldn't you?
And then the Chancellor kind of gets up to about to leave and is like, well, I guess won't be seeing it in person, to which as he's walking towards the door, Burge kind of has a little surprise in store for the Chancellor there.
And he's like, I've actually brought you here for a ulterior motive. Do you want to know how what I chose for my method of execution?
A bomb. And it's at this point that Chancellor learns the door's locked.
I'm going to sit down and read my Bible. It's been hidden here for over 20 years. It's a crime punishable by death. But still, it's the only possession that I have that has any value at all to me. So I'm going to just sit down and read it until the moment of my death. How will you spend your last moments, Chancellor?
This is insane, Wordsworth. Let me out of here.
I like this because then he's, like you said earlier, he kind of pushes it back on him and he's just like, oh, no, you're cheating your audience there.
The whole power dynamic, once he realizes that he's in a locked room with a bomb, completely switches. And this kind of gives Burge the upper hand where he kind of gets to throw back all these words that the Chancellor was kind of spouting at him. And I love the whole dialogue back and forth that we get between them.
And the Chancellor knows exactly. This Chancellor is a smart man, being quite a cunt, but he's just like, I get what you're doing. Show the shoe on the other foot, right? And he's like, that's the idea, but you're insane if you think they'll let me stay here. And then Burge is like, I don't think so. I think they'd actually see this as a sign of weakness if they let you out right now.
And then he kind of, Chancellor walks over to the window and he's going to try to call for help, to which Burge points out, oh, no. There's no one down there. You isolated the person that's about to be liquidated, don't you, Chancellor? There's going to be no one around.
He's like, you guys underestimated me. Now let the whole country see the true strength of the state. Wordsworth says, death is a great equalizer. I did like that. He's just like, I may be insignificant and you're the big Chancellor, but in the eyes of God, there's not much to distinguish us.
Yep.
The Chancellor tries to play it cool, sits down, starts chain-smoking butts. We get a montage of clocks passing as Wordsworth starts to read the Bible.
And then eventually we get
What is that passage called?
Yea, I walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
Yeah, but it's called something.
I have no idea. But the famous one.
He starts reading that, and the Chancellor starts getting more and more nervous until it's like 11:59, and he finally breaks, and I'll play.
You think he would have broken before now. He's got a minute to clear the room.
Right?
Let thine ears be attentive to the voice of my supplications.
Please,
If
let
thou...
me out in the name of God. Let me out. Let me out. Let me out. Let me out.
Yes, Chancellor, in the name of God, I will let you out.
Why not beat up Wordsworth? He's a tall guy. He could probably have taken on Wordsworth by himself and punched the key out of him.
Yeah.
And that would have proved that
I think he was trying to... I don't know if that would prove that the state is strong.
No, I'd be like, well, you little pipsqueak, I'm going to beat the shit out of you until you free me. Or I free myself because I'm a state.
How... Obviously, this would probably never work in real life that you'd get this much, comeuppance. But,
Yeah.
it's the ultimate, fuck you, I got you. Just a second ago, he was saying there is no God, and now you are praying to a God
that you say you don't believe in, and
when you're at your most vulnerable. Next shot, the Chancellor is walking into the trial room, but this time the guy who was at the bottom of the podium is now on top of the podium, and he's like, "Don't come any further. You've disgraced the state. You have proven you are a coward. You have no function. You are obsolete." And I'll play some of this because everyone starts chanting it at him, and he kind of, the shoe is on the other foot. No man's obsolete.
Please, I'm not obsolete. I have a function. I have a purpose. Please, I want to serve the state. Please, no. I'm not obsolete. No, please, I'm not obsolete. No.
Definitely giving zombie vibes, like with the weird sounds they're all making, and then they slowly
they grab him. It is pretty cool. He tries to run up to the podium, and they drag him across the table. Really cool shot. I really enjoyed that shot.
They have to knock the microphone out of the way before his head hits it. Did you notice that?
Yep. And then Rod takes us out.
The Chancellor, the late Chancellor, was only partly correct. He was obsolete. But so is the state, the entity he worshipped. Any state, any entity, any ideology that fails to recognize the worth, the dignity, the rights of man, that state is obsolete. A case to be filed under M for Mankind in the Twilight Zone.
And that's our episode, Tyler. What did you learn?
Never make a televised death live. Always leave a delay.
For sure. All right, we'll jump right into ratings. IMDb currently has us at an 8.6 out of 10. I don't know who liked this. I think we both agree this is an incredible episode. But...
yeah. I think we're going to be close. Should we try? We've been off by like a half point every single time we've tried.
All right, you want to try?
We'll try it.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 9.
8.5.
All right. I almost did 8.5, but on this, the message is incredibly poignant, and it's such a good episode. There's not much bad I can say about it. It is eerily not Twilight Zone-y in how this could actually be a possible future, but Twilight Zone-y nevertheless. And Burgess Meredith, I mean, come on, man. This guy, there's a reason why when you think of Twilight Zone actors, he's probably the number one guy you think of. And also Fritz Weaver, he does an incredible job as the Chancellor. We see him in 2 of Twilight Zone episodes, but incredible episode. Writing is on point too. Like you said, you don't really mind the Rod dialogue because they're believable characters that they would be speaking like this. But
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, I'm giving this one an 8.5. Like you said, great message, great morals. I love the cleverness of Wordsworth and the just comeuppance. I really love a good just comeuppance. Where the shoe's just on the other foot. So,
did you really like it? How his name was Wordsworth? In
no,
his library.
That
did you get
was
it?
A little too on the nose. That was a little too poignant.
Hey,
who are they? Where are they? What are they? Let's find out together in the Twilight Gnome presents Inside the Twilight Zone.
All right, so this week we obviously have Burgess Meredith. He was in 4 Twilight Zone episodes. We still have 1 more of his to do. He was in Time Enough at Last, Mr. Dingle the Strong, The Obsolete Man, and Printer's Devil. He was in the Grumpy Old Man movies. He was the narrator for the Twilight Zone movie in 1983. He played Mickey in all the Rocky movies. He was the voice of Puff the Magic Dragon in Puff the Magic Dragon. He was in 2 Night Galleries, 21 episodes of Batman as the Penguin, the old Adam West ones, and he played George in the 1939 Of Mice and Men. We'll go in a little bit more, give him his due after we finish Printer's Devil when we've completed his resume, but I mean, if you're going to build like a Mount Rushmore of Twilight Zone, Burge has got to be on that.
Oh, definitely. He's the George Washington.
Well, I would say Rod is, but...
Well, I thought we were just talking about like actors.
Oh, if it was just actors, for sure.
Yeah.
Then we have Fritz Weaver. He played the Chancellor. He was in 2 episodes of the Twilight Zone, and now we have finished his. Do you know what other episode he is in?
Can you give me a hint?
It's an Alien episode, technically.
Is it The Little People?
Third from the Sun.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yep.
He has 143 credits to his name. He was in the movie The Cobbler with Adam Sandler, which I got to rewatch that. He was in one Twilight Zone remake in the 80s. He was in one episode of Night Gallery.
Is he still alive if he was in The Cobbler? That movie's not that old.
No, I believe he's dead now. That movie came out in like 2017 or 16.
Which wasn't...
That was 10 years ago.
In my mind, I'm like, that was like a couple years ago that The Cobbler came out. Like, that's not that old.
It came out like 10 years ago now,
Even still.
unfortunately. Again, for such a giant episode, it's kind of crazy how little trivia they have, but I do have a little bit. Burgess Meredith got $3,500 for this role, which I think we have to like pretty much times it by 10, so it would be like 35, 40 grand for this one episode. They flew him in first class, gave him the luxury Twilight Zone experience. The courtroom scene there, that cost $2,700 just to construct.
How? It's mostly blank walls.
I don't know, but that's what it has in the book. Oh yeah, for a little bit of fun here, since this was the final episode of season 2, do you want to go over the summer reruns that they played in the summer before season 3? So it starts on June 9th, 1961, and goes until September 8th. And the episodes are as followed. Where is Everybody? Perchance to Dream, I Shot an Arrow into the Air, Escape Clause, A World of Difference, The Fever, The Purple Testament, Elegy, Mirror Image, One for the Angels, The Big Tall Witch, Bitch.
Just Big Tall Bitch.
The Big Tall Wish, The Chaser, Nightmare as a Child, and A World of His Own. So all season one for some reason.
Huh. Well, I mean, I guess people
they
just finished watching season 2, so give them some refresh on season 1. Makes sense.
Right. In total, this episode cost $56,570. The director received $1,380, and the cast received $7,865.
The guy that plays the Chancellor, is he related to the man that plays the mayor in The Grinch?
That is funny that you say that, especially in his voice. I was like, that sounds exactly like that guy.
I was like trying to look away when his voice was talking, so I could like figure out who I was thinking he sounded like, and then I came to me like, that's that guy. Like he's also in Arrested Development.
Money in the banana stand.
Yeah, and
that's funny that we came up with that same thing together, because I was thinking about that the other night when I was watching. I was like, that sounds a lot like that dude.
I don't know if it like, did you find anything that showed that they were related, or just happened to sound a lot like him?
I figured he sounds like him, but that would be interesting if they were related.
Yeah.
What'd you say your name was?
What's in a name, Mr. Benedict? Really? It's a mere question of semantics. Just language. A mere stretch of words.
So every week, Tyler and I come up with a few alternative titles to the episodes we are watching. I have 4 this week.
I got 6.
All right, go for it.
Start with my debacle. I have the discarded debacle.
I have the determination debacle.
Yeah. I have judge not, lest ye be judged.
I have lest ye be judged.
Yeah.
A little shortened version of it.
I got the last librarian.
I have Wordsworth versus the State.
I have the great equalizer.
I like that. I have In the Eyes of God.
I have they the state. And my last one, the last words of Wordsworth.
Pretty good. Switcheroos. I have 5.
I have 6, I think.
The Jeopardy Room.
No. I have escape clause.
No. In His Image.
Nope. Judgment Night.
Yes. Valley of the Shadow.
No. Execution.
Yep. And one more pallbearer.
I have that one. My other 2 were Dead Man's Shoes and Nervous Man in a $4 Room.
It may be better, it may be worse. The Twilight Zone did first.
So, really surprising that there's not a whole lot of references to this episode, where, for me, it is one of the top, like, memorable episodes of all time. But was able to cobble together a few things here. First off, we got different pop culture references where there's themes of totalitarian states that kind of control jobs in the media. We have George Orwell's 1949 novel, 1984. We have Ray Bradbury's 1953 novel, Fahrenheit 451. We have the 2005 film V for Vendetta and the 1985 film Brazil. And then we also have Futurama coming in again. Futurama in the show, they kind of have the idea of obsolete jobs and totalitarian government with the idea that people have to get career chips implanted into them. And that's kind of brought up multiple times throughout the series.
All right. Well, every week Tyler picks the episodes, and he does so by showing me an AI-generated picture. I play a little game where I have to guess what it is. Now, since we are in a original format where we're going to have one of each category, remind them what the 5 categories are?
5 categories are death, other, alien, future, and time. And we've already done a time with Last Flight, and we did an alien with The Fugitive. So that leaves death, other, and...
Well, this was death, right?
Oh, this was future.
This was future.
Yes,
Okay, so we have
this was future.
death,
So we have death and other left.
other. And we have season 5 and 4
Correct.
left.
And next week, we're doing it a little early, but it's going to be our Valentine's Day episode.
All right, I'm in the dark then. What is it?
Ready?
Yeah. Passage on the Lady Anne.
Yeah, the Love Boat.
How was it? I've never seen. This is one of the 4 I have not seen.
I like this a lot. It was a really fun episode. Very fitting for Valentine's Day, too.
All right. I'm excited. Next week, the season 4 episode, Passage on the Lady Anne, one of the 4 Twilight Zones of the 156 that I have not seen now. I am excited to cross it off my list here.
Yeah, bring your wine and some heart-shaped chocolates and enjoy a special early Valentine's Day with the Twilight Gnome.
All right, just a little housekeeping. If you guys could please continue to like and subscribe on the YouTube page, it would mean the world to us. While you're at it, if you want to go over to the post section and see all the polls Ty's been dropping lately, it's pretty awesome. Every Tuesday he drops some. And if you get bored and find yourself wanting to do something, you probably got like a good half an hour to go through the old posts and tell us what you think. If you need to get a hold of us for any other reason, you can email us at twilightgnome59@gmail.com. Until then, Ty, this is kind of a mean question, but what is the most obsolete profession?
Oh, I thought you were going to go with a different question.
Imagine something like on computers, especially now with AI.
Yeah, I was thinking something that AI could easily replace. Probably like brand development or like something art related where like AI is getting really good with art and branding, I guess. Something along those lines.
Definitely feel really bad for artists because obviously, I mean, there's always going to be something to the human touch. Like AI is not going to be able to make a painting that you can physically have. But for like digital art, digital artists are kind of, I would be shaking in my boots a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think they're...
And musicians,
I don't think
too.
they're quite at the stage, but it won't be long until it completely takes over.
Like I said, also a lot of like, I would imagine call-based stuff, maybe?
Maybe. I don't think their AI is quite at the level of like holding a full-on conversation. Maybe. I don't know, to some degree. What? So your guess would be
something
phone call?
computer-related. I don't know, maybe like an analyst or someone who like comes up with like a lot of information because it's going to be able to do that so much quicker.
Yeah.
But definitely something in the realm of business and...
I mean, also just speaking of for this episode, librarians are going to probably be obsolete. Like nobody reads physical books anymore. It's all going to, reading it on your Kindle or whatever.
I know we're on Spotify here, but I got premium and I'm listening to The Lord of the Rings and it only allows you to have like 14 hours in like a month, which is crazy because it's 24 hours just to listen to one of the Lord of the Rings books.
Huh.
Bullshit.
Another obsolete job is people working at Blockbuster.
I believe that became obsolete about 10 years ago. I don't think there's any more left.
I think there was one left for a little while. It was a holdout. But no, the question I thought you were going to ask is like if I was in Wordsworth's position, like what method of death for your, what do they call it? Liquidation would you choose?
Well, it seems like you've been thinking about it, so what would you pick?
I think I'd go
Fire? Fire!
No, I think I'd go with like either drowning.
But they're fucking terrible.
Or just park the car in the garage and turn the
carbon monoxide.
I feel like you just like but you'd like fall asleep and it wouldn't be like painful. Anything where I'm like worse would be like fire or something like that. That'd be absolute no.
I want a bunch of flamethrowers to just attack my room.
What would you pick?
Getting blown to death. I don't know.
Blown up, or do you mean like blown like a blowjob? That death by snoo snoo.
Yes, death by snoo snoo, please. I don't. That's fucking terrible. I guess something to be incredibly
quick or painless.
Both. Well, I mean, like holding a grenade, do you think that would be
It'd be
painless?
painful.
For a split second.
I mean, it depends on where you're holding it. Is it in your
hold
mouth?
it, yeah, I guess you hold it. That.
Yeah, what if it goes wrong?
And also, I probably wouldn't want to. I don't know. What's better, knowing it's coming or not? Because you'd be constantly like every sound you hear, like. Gah!
Well, that's kind of the there's a whole like what's it called, like not the prisoner's dilemma, but something like that, where the guy is told you're gonna die sometime this week, and so he figures.
You wouldn't be able to enjoy the time because you'd be thinking about it the whole time.
The riddle, or not really riddle, but like the brain teaser is you're told you're going to die sometime this week and you know it will be a surprise. So you know it won't be the last day of the week because then you'd know it was the last day of the week. So you can rule out the last day of the week. But you also know it won't be the day before the last day of the week because you know that it won't be the last day of the week. And so you kind of use that same logic and you come to the conclusion that you won't die at all.
I don't know about that.
It's a famous word thought experiment thing.
All right, Ty. Well, until then, is there anything you want to say to our dear, dear Nomies?
Yes. Thank you all for making us not obsolete by listening to us every day. Thank you, Nomies.
It's 4 o'clock, the howling man is gone. Frisbee's telling stories, Mr. Dingle Strong.